Hey, it's Mr. Han here. Here's our notes on how to add integers. So here I'm going to be splitting the notes from adding integers and subtracting integers. So we'll have two sets of notes. For this first set of notes, we're going to be talking about adding integers. So before we even get to the whole concept, right? The first thing I want to talk about is what is an integer. So the question here we're going to answer is what is an integer? I'm going to go through a couple steps just because we're learning how to use Notability. I'd like for you to copy exactly what I do. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click on the pencil and click on red. Okay. So the question is, what is an integer? So an integer is a positive or negative whole number. So an integer is a positive or negative whole number. So right now I want you to just think, what is a positive number, right? 1, 10, 20, 30, 100, 1000. Recognize that all these numbers are positive, okay? And negative numbers are negative 100, negative 5, negative 3, negative 1000. So all these numbers have a negative in front of it. So positive and negative, hopefully you understand, okay? And whole numbers are numbers that are not fractions or not decimal. So they're numbers that are whole. 1 is a whole number. 2 is a whole number. It's not 2.5. See the difference here? Whole numbers are numbers that are whole. They're not a part of a number, basically. So what is an integer? They're going to be positive or negative numbers, and they're whole numbers. Okay? So with that understanding, what do we do with integers when we add them? Okay? So integers, numbers, positive, negative, whole numbers. So we're going to be talking about what we do when we add them. So go ahead and click on the pencil again. I'm going to use green. When the numbers are the same, okay? So we're going to take these examples right here. Look at 6 and 11, right? 6 and 11. Both of the signs are the same. 6 is positive, 11 is positive, so when the signs are the same, this is what we're talking about here. Or take a look right here. Negative 5 and negative 8. Negative 5, negative 8. Both of them are negative. The signs are the same. They're both negative. And here, negative 7 and negative 9, the signs are the same. They're both negative. So we are going to talk about a rule that exists when the signs are the same. Now remember, we're talking about adding integers. So when we add these whole numbers that are positive and negative integers, when we add integers, we're going to recognize that when the signs are the same, okay, we are going to add the numbers because they go in the same direction. This first example, 6 plus 11, is nothing new to you. You've been doing it since first grade, second grade, third grade. So when we add 6 plus 11, we're going to add the numbers together, and we're going to recognize they are both positive numbers, right? So the answer is going to be a positive answer. So 6 plus 11 is 17, and it's going to be a positive 17. Okay? So that's how we're going to do this. When the signs are the same, we're going to add the numbers, and they're going in the same direction. So they're both going to the positive direction. The next one, we have a negative 5 and a negative 8. So we're going to add these numbers together. So 8 plus 5, we're going to add those numbers together, and we get 13. And because they're going in the same direction, they're going to go negative 5, then negative 8. The answer is negative 13. Okay? So we're going to add the numbers and keep the sign, basically. They're both negatives, so we're going to keep the sign. Negative 7 plus negative 9. Recognize that the signs are the same. Negative 7, negative 9. When we add them together, we're going to add. We get 16, but the answer is going to be negative because they're both going into the negative direction. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense to you when we're adding integers. when the signs are the same, we're going to add, and then they're going in the same direction. So either positive or negative. Okay, so we're going to keep the sign. And actually, I want you to go ahead, change it to pink, put a star here, right here. Keep the sign. Okay. So when they're both positive, we're going to keep it positive. If they're both negative, we're going to keep it negative. Sweet. What do we do when the signs are opposite? Okay. So when the signs are opposite, I'm going to use purple. We're going to subtract the numbers because they're going in opposite directions. So right here, we're going to take -9 and 7. Notice that the signs are opposite, right? We have -9 and +7. So when we have opposite signs, we're going to go ahead and subtract. Subtract. And here's a key. We'll actually write this in pink right here. Key. Subtract from the quote-unquote larger number. Okay? Or number furthest from 0. So I'm going to explain this in just a second. So we're going to subtract the numbers, but what number do we subtract from? That's the big question here. What do we subtract from? We are going to subtract from the number that is larger, right? Or the number that's further from 0. So right here, take a look. What number is larger, 9 or 7? Now I notice that there's a -9, right? So we can also ask, what number is further from 0? -9 or 7? And the answer here is -9. -9 is further from 0, or we can say larger. The 9 is larger. So we're going to subtract the numbers from 9. So let's go 9 minus 7, we get 2. And we're going to look at the sign of the larger number or the number that's further from 0. So it's going to become a -2. Our answer is -2. Okay. Here, we're going to take the number that is larger, okay, or the number that's further from 0. So -20, we're going to take 20 and we're going to subtract 4. We get 16. And because the number we're subtracting from is a negative number, it's going to be a -16. Okay? So it's going in the opposite directions, -20, then you add 4, it's going to still be a negative. Here, we're going to subtract from the number further from 0, -18. So 18 minus 7 is 11, and the answer is negative because -18 is further from 0. Okay? So here, a second star, we could say keep the sign of the larger number or number furthest from 0. Okay? So those are the two keys. We want to know what the larger number is, right? -9 or 7. Technically, -9 is not larger, but what number is further from 0? Or we could just look at 9. 9 is larger than 7, but it's a negative number. Okay, so we're going to keep that negative sign. So all these examples are negative answers because the number that is larger is a negative number. So here, quickly, I want you to go through numbers 1 through 6 and tell me which numbers are the same sign or opposite sign. So go ahead and do that first. Look at number 1, are they the same or opposite signs? Number 2, are they the same or opposite signs? So we're looking at the signs right here. Are they the same or opposite? Here, -4 and 18, +18, so we know that it is opposite. And go ahead and look at all the other ones, okay? And tell me by circling. So I'm going to go ahead and circle. Number 1, they're opposite signs, which means we are going to subtract. Okay? I want you to take a second. Answers numbers 1 through 6, just like this. Okay? Sweet. So, here, number number 2, negative 9 and negative 7, they're the same, so we're going to add, right? And we're going to keep the sign. Right here, opposite, which means we're going to subtract. Here, they're the same, so we're going to add. They're opposite, negative 12 and positive 5, so we're going to subtract. And right here, they're negative 9 and negative 5. We're going to say that they're the same signs, negatives, right? And we're going to add. And then we're going to keep the sign. So go ahead and try now. Subtract from the larger number, right? 11. So 11 minus 4 is 7. It's going to be a positive 7 because this number right here is the larger number, or the number further from 0, and it's a positive number. Here we're going to add because they are the same, so 9 plus 7 is 16, and our answer is negative because we're going to keep the sign. Number 3, negative 4 plus 18, there's opposite, so we're going to subtract. We're going to subtract from the larger number, or the number further from 0. That's 18, so we're going to take 18 minus 4. We get 14, and the number is going to be positive, so we're going to keep it positive. Here they're the same sign, negative 16 and negative 7, so we're going to add 16 plus 7. I'm blanking out right now. 4, 23. And the answer is negative 23 because they're the same sign. They're both negative. Okay? Number 5, they're opposite, so we're going to subtract. We want to take the number larger, right? Or further from 0. So 12 minus 5 is 7. And it's going to be a negative number. So negative 7. And last but not least, same. So we're going to add 9 plus 5 is 14. And it's a negative number because they're both the same sign and they're both negative. Okay? Alright, so this is it for adding integers. Good luck.